Okay, you're watching Sip Sip with Egan. I have no idea what episode this is. And I think I've decided to like really drink coffee now in my show. Sebelum ni macam takut-takut. I just cannot sleep at night, but I don't care. Jared. Abdul Rahman.
Yes. I was wondering what you were trying to remember.
Yeah, because like, yeah, I know a few Jareds and like I always like, I'm not that one. So he is a fellow curator back of my head, and he loved doing that. I mean, other than me being your headache.
It's enjoyable. I'm not sure I like the term curator though. As in, I'm not sure I like it for me because. Yeah.
It's like an artist calling themselves artist for the first time. Like they don't like me calling myself an artist. Like it's weird.
Maybe, but also like, obviously to the curators out there, if this is your thing, don't be offended. But for me, I don't want to be controlling of other artists' work. Which, not to say that that is what curators do, but there are some curator styles that is like, no, your art has to be like this because I'm curating you. Which is what I don't want to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Just someone who helps bring artists together.
Wait, okay. He just curated an exhibition called, can you tell me about that? I mean, can you tell them about that?
Masked.
Yeah. Sakit kepala, man.
A community art exhibition. The full name is Masked, Making Peace with Our Limitations, which basically has a lot to do with MCO and lockdown and coronavirus. I don't know what the original meaning was. I didn't come up with the name.
Who did?
A person called Tina from SICC.
Okay.
And it's actually their idea, their project.
So they're like co-organizing.
Well, I'm the co-organizer. Basically, I'm the person who came on board after the fact to help them make it happen, bring it to life. Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
I love the experience. From my perspective, as I walk in to the exhibition, because I was missing. I mean, you know, I wasn't there like during the recce lah, during the apa lah. I wasn't there. Diva artist.
Yep.
And when I went in to install and saw the whole thing for the first time, it is good. It's a work in progress, but it's a very good start. It's a very, like, you go in there like there's hope. We can do this. If given there's no MCO, if given, I mean, a lot of them who prepared these artworks don't go to the artist lah. Memang I feel like they have enough time to finish work, and most of them, even if the end product is not that great, but you can feel like they put a lot of thoughts into it.
To the actual artwork.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
To the artwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you had your own messed up time with artists, venue, and ada cerita tak sih?
God. I mean, the biggest issue was, I mean, okay, for start, managing 80 people.
80?
Yeah. I mean, 80 is the number that I'm going with, but if you talk about like Pangrok Sulap, how many people are in Pangrok Sulap? I don't know. I think they also don't know, right? But I count them as one.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
But within that, it's like, there's a few more lah. So let's just say 80 distinct artists or art collectives. So that memang will be hard or interesting to try to handle. Not necessarily good or bad, just it's a task. The hardest thing, which I'm sure the artists also will tell you, was the setup, the venue setup. Not the venue itself, but the third party that we had to basically erect the walls, the partitions. Going sampai 3 a.m. on the day that we needed to launch. And of course, I mean, they needed to finish 3 days before that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think there was a lot of misunderstanding. It's like, yeah, the event starts here, but you needed to finish 3 days ago. Yeah. So that stressed out a lot of artists. And of course, us. But yeah lah, we can't lose our shit compared to the artists.
Well, I guess in these kind of, how you say, technicalities, memang logistic is always a headache lah kan. But did people get it?
By it, do you mean like
anything that you might think?
Oh.
Do they get this exhibition? Do they get why you're doing it? Why ada sampah di lantai? Like,
I think mostly yes. Did they get everything? Probably no. And that's fine, right?
yeah.
And that's why we had such a mix of art and art styles to try to cater to everyone lah. As far as the overall concept, like, you know, the grouping of the art in the different spaces as to represent the kind of MCO journey, I don't know if you even got it. I mean, I'll have to watch back your video with Apeng. But I think you mostly did. When I spoke to some people asking them about it, I think it depends on who they were with. So some people, if they're bringing family, they're probably just rushing through. I think we originally allocated 1 hour, but I think to properly appreciate everything, you really needed more than an hour, like hour and a half minimum. Yeah. One thing that was interesting though was a lot of comments that came out was that it felt like it reminded them of an exhibition that they experienced or heard of overseas. Like one in Taiwan, for example. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is what, not to say all exhibitions should be like, but this is, in my mind, an exhibition where, especially when you want to cater for installations and all sorts lah, music and dance as well. Like that was interesting how to do that.
That was really.
Were you there on the Friday morning?
I was online.
Oh,
I was watching it from Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, but like as you said, work in progress. So everything was kind of we see how it goes lah. Yeah.
I love that the title has the word community, because this really feels like it's a work of a community. I mean, when you want to say that, alah, kenapa dia punya signboard macam kena print saja, and then why the wall macam it's not done, it's like somehow done, but when you stress out, this is a community work, this is, I mean, some people might say that ini mungkin kerja contractor, ini mungkin kerja some people, but when you say the word community and it relates to this, it somehow feels like everyone is kind of doing their part, kind of like chipping in their time, and I assume they're contributing.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I love yang macam di Taiwan begitu. It feels like that. I was in Koganecho in Japan, and there was an exhibition that feels like this. And these exhibitions were it was curated by non-artists. It was participated by non-artists, like people who live. Kokonencho is a stretch of railway and that under bridge passageway thing. So it's a place where prostitution, gangsterism is very rampant. So the community came and took over those places, and they made it into an exhibition that changes every few seasons.
Yeah, cool.
It's really nice, and it feels like this. There's something missing about this, but it feels like how do I put this in words? It's not perfect, but it's perfect. Does that make sense?
Well, see, the thing is, had other things gone better, then...
I mean, yeah. But...
So, you're saying, like, the first thing you see when you go in is the shitty A3 printed info wall, right?
But I didn't know who pasted them there. So
I did. Me and Sarah and Cassie, and basically all last minute, because so all the partitions were really slow, so we have to like all our energies is trying to get that sorted. But also another thing is I'm sure he's not watching. Our printer sponsor person, he didn't want to print that because it wasn't in the original agreement. His agreement was only printing the actual artwork labels.
Okay.
So I'm like, whatever, like, I can't deal with this.
So kau print sendiri lah pakai 3?
Yalah. And the thing is, memang I was gonna try to like, I had to figure out what to do lah.
The show must go on.
Sampai the tape also run out. So that's why if you go sampai the end, it's like, yeah, so whatever.
I didn't see that.
With your limitations.
I guess.
So I don't know. Would I want to change it? Yeah, I wish I could have done it properly. But then, why bother? It's perfect in the way it turned out.
Maybe there's MCO2?
No,
I hope not.
Please no.
Wow. But I enjoyed it. I love how Ben Uzair was there, Apeng was there. I really appreciate the opportunity for me to work with Apeng. John Sir was there. Siapa lagi?
So in terms of those,
these people were
who helped
there
with the online
contributing
tour,
what they can do.
So we had Elaine.
Yeah.
Alex Alexander. So you already mentioned 4, kan?
Yeah, Ben, Apeng.
John. Oh, and Farhana. Yeah.
I missed them. I didn't see them.
Yeah. So it's 3 and 3. Because, I mean, the idea was like 1 per session, morning, afternoon, even though the morning one was more around lunchtime. Yeah lah.
Do you see yourself doing this again? Provided you have a team of like...
Well, yeah, so... I mean, it's always...
non-diva artists.
The artist is not the problem, because it's like, if that's what I want to do, then... if I want to showcase these artists, like the diva artists in particular, then I obviously have to accept that lah. Right?
I'm sorry.
It's fine, whatever. I mean, it's more always a question about budget. Not that you always need a budget, but knowing what the budget is and being able to work around it. So if it's a 1-person team of organizer, okay, fine, you can plan. If it's like a 3-person team, 50 people team, whatever. So it's understanding what you have to work with. Moving forwards, SICC supposedly wants to do more. So the big B question, the budget question, will be the thing to figure out lah.
Wow.
But I mean, I was the one who pushed for the word community and that approach, because on one hand, yes, SICC is an international convention center, right? It's not really their kind of thing to have community, this kind of like unfinished
Yeah.
exhibition. But so I pushed for it, saying, well, you wanna attract people, you wanna you wanna do something for the community, then make it a community exhibition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like full on.
yes, so whatever happens next, in theory we'll have the same feel, just hopefully we figured out the kinks of all of those things. The artists can stay as divas, that's fine, that's no problem. Yeah.
Yay!
Just hopefully not the night before lah, like chasing out artists to write their labels.
It's me.
You weren't the latest, trust me.
Really?
The latest sampai I have to write. Yeah.
Kau ah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to reset.
Okay.
Jared,
Yeah.
how come you orang putih?
I don't know.
Your mom?
Yeah, it's been a while. MCO kan? Not enough sun. Yeah, don't look up there.
Well, you used to be like darker, what?
It depends. Like, okay, let's say you look back at the Pillars, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
Pillars promos. I am dark.
Betul.
Yeah. Because it was like non-stop in the sun. And memang that site is like, there's no shelter at all.
You're not supposed to be there during daytime.
Yeah, after 9 a.m. already, it's too crazy hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, my mom is from Australia.
Ah.
Yeah.
So do you go like balik kampung or something? Or
My
this is
kampung
your
is here lah. Yeah, I mean, do your viewers know where we are? Like most of KK, I was born just around the corner.
Oh, here?
Kana lah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah. Right.
Where were you born?
I was born in Keningau.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I guess.
Barulah
guess.
kampung.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But like 4 years when I was like still really small, we went to Labuan and I grew up there.
Okay.
So that's how I know a lot of Labuan boys until now.
My dad was born in Labuan, but
Ah.
I mean, just because his dad, so my grandfather was stationed there, I guess, teacher. I don't know what his post was, but teacher lah, kena
So
assign
you grew up
everywhere.
in Sabah?
Yeah.
Dari dulu sampai sekarang? didn't
Well,
go
not
anywhere?
sampai sekarang lah. After SPM, I went for university in Australia, and then travel, and then a couple of years ago, I came back. Just not deliberately, accidentally. I was on my way from the UK back to Australia, and I singgah here for a few months, and I'm still
You
here.
fell in love.
Well, that, yeah. I mean, that eventually happened.
With Sabah or with the person?
Both.
Ah.
Yeah. I don't know about fell in love. More like the love that was always there, but you know, you imagine like the arc is the middle always has all the conflict and always the denial and whatever, and then finally, oh yeah, acceptance. I can't believe how blind I was. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
If that made any sense.
that's really romantic. I always feel like artistic people come back to Sabah because there's something that they want to do here. And do you have that? Like, I need to do this here now. Like
I think
like this exhibition.
I think after being here and kind of not knowing what's next. So I'm talking like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So not MCO, because that is a different what's next question, right? I thought, oh, well, you know, while I'm here, I'll try to involve myself a bit more. And then one thing led to another and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, got semangat sikit lah now to actually be more purposeful and useful to the community in whatever way I can.
What's your biggest passion? Would you say, is it art or is it something else? Because you were in like Forever Sabah.
Yes.
That feels really social, indigenous.
Yeah.
Orang kita.
So that comes down to, I mean, after feeling a little bit more like I belong back here, and then involving myself more in other community efforts. So whether it's like community empowerment or education or whatever word you want to use, that, I don't know why I started this, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what if I had to say one thing, I don't know what the passion is, but just to be useful, I think, in a community sense, which doesn't have
Contribute, just contribute.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I started with like picking up rubbish from the beach.
Yeah, you were that guy.
Yeah, no. There was two guys at the time.
No, I remembered you.
And a lot of people were like confusing me for that guy. I'm like, I don't know who this. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not this crazy viral guy. And that guy was. He was going viral.
Which one?
Trash Packer, the Dutch dude. Anyway, whatever. I'm glad you haven't heard of
I
him.
remembered you more than the other one.
Okay, cool.
Because you look like Maroon 5 frontman.
Here we go. Yeah, so obviously that it was like one thing after another, and then let's see if I can be useful in an
this
NGO
way, that way.
sense. Coming back to Forever Sabah.
You said something about you feeling that like you belonged here just now. Did that take time?
Yeah, like 32 years.
Really?
Yeah. How old am I now? Yeah, 31, 32-ish. Because it was... so coming back to your question, why am I white? You're right.
And then you feel like you don't belong here.
So growing up, and obviously... high school is going to be high school, right? So you're going to get picked on for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Not to say that I was overly picked on, but it's just one thing that it's just when it's like always repeated, and for you it just gets annoying to the point where fuck you guys lah, you know, with the whole you know, why don't you just balik kampung? It's like, well, this is my kampung lah. Yeah. And so after going to university in Australia, and obviously there I am brown, not right. Yeah.
So it's like neither here nor there.
Yes.
Shit, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, it's like if someone, the last time I had someone ask me, I think it's more like a novelty for them, a curiosity. So it's okay lah, you just lie on it. But when it becomes like they make fun, then it's like, my God, really? Yeah, so you get used to it. Ish.
I always think, I mean, this is me thinking lah. I don't think it's relevant, but I don't know. I always thought like it's a good thing, looking like orang putih or something here.
Yeah, well, I think...
Do you get your perks?
Perks? Oh, I mean, the whole white... What's it called?
White privilege.
White privilege. White privilege.
Ada kah sini?
Yeah.
Do they like, kalau kau boleh ba?
I mean, if you just look at the pay gap in expat versus locals, I mean, okay, maybe they have different skills, but if it's literally the same skill, why should there be a difference in pay, right? Between what, they're gonna send money home to their family that they can't survive without their salary being in USD?
There's a pay gap?
Really?
I don't know.
Yes.
I never seen this before. I thought people were paid better because they're just better in a way. Because
I mean, this is what you hope. right? Otherwise, you're just
Okay.
wasting money. But like, let's say for schools, okay? So you have, let's say, a white teacher, a white foreigner teacher, and a local not so white teacher. They can literally have the same. I mean, it's the same freaking textbook, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same.
And they get
1
paid
plus 1 is
differently?
yes.
The fuck?
Yeah, but it depends on the school lah. Obviously, if it's a sekolah kebangsaan, they're probably not gonna hire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so certain other schools lah. that
Okay,
hire-
I honestly don't know about this.
I mean, okay, so maybe quality of teaching, like never mind the textbook, but like the one-on-one, maybe. But like when you look at the gap, I don't think it's that much of a difference in like it's not worth that much more.
Punya sial, like I'm.
Now, please don't quote me. I mean, things may have changed.
Yeah. But I'm looking at it like, okay, white. I can't really say white, but yeah. And then local, this is like the pay lah kan. And then immigrants, other immigrants like Filipinos and Indonesians, like
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, I think that is the situation. Yeah.
ayo. I think this is the coffee. I'm really getting like.
Yeah. Mine's finished.
Let me get you some.
So I think it comes down to the company that's hiring and their values. So they must value internationalness more than localness,
Fuck man.
I think.
Have you seen like orang putih yang tiada guna, and they still get paid like a lot?
Yeah. I mean, every workplace has people yang tiada guna, right?
Kau itu kan?
So if the workplace is just white, obviously you're gonna have those yang tiada guna, right? The ones where you think like, what the fuck is your job?
Yeah.
Right? Why are we paying you?
On top of my head, I cannot think of anyone. Like, I'm assuming that maybe that one guy, but maybe not. But ayo.
Yeah, that one guy, I think.
Okay. How do we? Obviously, in this episode, we're not going to settle this problem. But
No.
how?
But in terms of like art and artists and talent, local talent, I think we still see it. Well, not we still see it. Memang we still see it. It's quite obvious. You don't have to look too far in terms of people celebrating non-locals. Why? Because they're non-local. Having said that, obviously now there's a trend to support local more. But then there's always something where some foreigner will come and then say a few words in Malay. Oh, sina lau bakas. Not that that's Malay, obviously.
Okay, yeah. Now I'm
and
triggered.
Then, and then suddenly it's like, ooh.
All the girls go to
Yeah.
him.
Or her.
Oh.
Or her.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, but just the concept of you don't even have to think about white. You
Yeah.
just think about where a lot of Sabah's local content comes from. It comes from KL. So naturally, you're going to value KL products.
Yes.
So that also lah.
Yeah, bahan. And we always feel validated when someone from outside says you're good.
Yeah, or retweets your tweet. Not that I'm on Twitter. Yeah lah, the world of Instagram these days. Is it Instagrammable? That's the question. Fuck that.
Ayo, oh god. Now I have issues, not questions.
Yep.
Okay, let me just get you coffee.
Yes,
We'll
thank
come
you.
back after this.
Well, actually, I can make my own coffee.
Boleh lah.
Speaking of white privilege.
But okay, since we're talking about this, do people have this anger towards you?
Oh,
Not yeah. Can I call it anger?
gosh.
Like bila dorang tengok orang, apa tengok ni orang putih lagi macam ni.
Well, number one, I hope not. Number two,
You don't feel it lah.
no. I mean, if there is, I don't think it's necessarily representative of anything other than a personal thing.
Did you feel this when you were in Forever Sabah?
Oh,
Like when you go to the rurals?
okay, right. So with Forever Sabah, I was only with them maybe 6-7 months. And in that time, macam the furthest I went was only really Telupit, but memang mostly dealing with the team. So in Telupit they have they're called CERT, Community Elephant Ranger Team. So they memang already employees, or they work with Forever Sabah already. So those are the people that I was.
You don't go
memang
to reach
engaging
out and.
Not yet. Belum lagi sampai that stage. Before.
Because I would guess,
Ways.
I don't know. I'm just assuming like, now that you're in the urban KK, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen that much because everyone is connected, like social media, and they know where you're from, and they know some kind of a backstory to everything. But if you go to the rurals, maybe
Right.
they don't know you, and they see you like, who's this
Yeah, I mean,
blue-eyed guy?
obviously, I think I get. It depends who. Some people will just take me for your average white
Kawin lah anak
European.
siya, dia bilang na. Until that point.
No, that one has never happened. But I will get called like Pakistani a lot, which is not really the same thing as being called a white European. I don't know which is better or worse, and I don't know which one they would hate more. Because obviously there are many prejudices towards all the different
Yeah lah.
peoples. But either way, I mean, it's.
Have you developed some kind of a comeback to these kind of people?
I will answer with the truth. So, especially like just now, talking about balik kampung, right? Yeah, my kampung is kampung likas lah. And then it'll be followed by laughter. And then they'll look at me like they're waiting for the truth.
Oh.
And then that'll be it lah. And then I will.
You should like,
Go
kau
do
dari
my-
negara mana? Saya pun
Yeah.
dari Likas, like I never seen you there.
Yeah.
Come back 101.
In high school lah. I mean, in high school.
High school is violent, man.
Yeah, I mean, especially back then, back in those days, I don't know, it's probably still violent. But also emotionally violent, I think. You know, you jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
People hate you, the world hates you, everything. But now, I don't know, I just, whatever. Yeah. Maybe it's compartmentalizing. Or just being dead inside. I don't know. That helps me deal with it.
Okay. Touche. Apa lagi masih tak? Art sudah. Mas sudah. Orang putih sudah. What?
I don't know.
I wanna ask you like, what do you like it? What do you like best in KK? Like, I mean, you've been around, you've been abroad, you've been
Yeah.
here, and if you are not here anymore, what would you miss? Okay.
What would I miss?
You have plans to migrate or something?
Well, I mean, Yes and no. I mean,
When you're frustrated, you feel like, I'm gonna pack my bags and.
the thing is, because I've just come out of the whole travelingness, so I don't feel rushed to jump back to that, especially if I'm not going solo anymore. I can't just do it my own style.
Let me rephrase my question.
Right. Also, I lost my train of thought.
What are you going to miss, and slash that incident, that project of yours, kasih bersih the beach?
Oh,
Okay, try to kasih combine that. There's something that you love there,
right.
and I mean, what's the point? I mean, what is this?
Okay, all right. I will start by answering your first question properly, and then I will relate it to that. Okay, so one thing growing up and going to university, living overseas, one thing that I memang always carried with me is basically the mountain and the sea. So the islands, and living in KK, it's basically the mountain, the sea. And that kind of, you can read into it whatever way you want. It means different things to different people, but for me, that is said it all. And in between, you got all the different cultures and peoples and flora, fauna, whatever. So to answer the beach thing, obviously food as well, yes. So the beach thing, I was thinking about it today. I was thinking about it this morning, what if there's another MCO phase 2, whatever, I wonder if I can just walk to the beach and just do...
And be arrested.
Well, obviously, yeah, I wouldn't want that. But something doing in your alone time, the highlight for me is just, it's quite peaceful. Well, it was quite peaceful when I was picking up rubbish. I plug in, listen to music, and shovel up.
Berapa hari kau buat tu?
I did it for like 2 weeks.
Really?
10 days, 2 weeks, yeah.
What was in your head during...
I don't know. I mean, obviously there was the music I was listening to. It determined my mood. But also a curiosity, fascination of what I would find. It was almost like digging for treasure, but also heavily filled with frustration that there's all this literal shit that you're digging up. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then obviously hoping that it would mean something to someone and whatever, but that's...
I mean, when you're doing it, that tomorrow there's going to be like another wave of trash coming in.
That's essentially why I stopped, or at least that initial burst of energy, because there has to be another way, more effective way. You can get all the material you want to showcase to people. Look at this, whatever. But if you're just doing that, that's just the first stage. You have to do the next step, which I guess is like actually talk to people and not just hoping that people see you picking up rubbish. Yeah. Yes.
In a sense, I see the purpose here. Like if I want to put it into a sentence, it would sound like, bagus lagi saya pungut sampah di negara saya sendiri daripada saya pungut sampah di Australia. Would that make sense?
Yeah.
But then again, your mom is from Australia.
Well, what for me? Yeah. Okay. So.
You see it like an investment.
Yes, because I mean, there's not really much to do in Australia, as sad as that might sound. Like,
really?
No, when it comes to like picking up rubbish on the beach, it's like they got that sorted, man.
Apa kau buat ni?
Yeah. But I mean, you wanna talk about the issue of the rubbish there. I've thought about it. I mean, as with most people, they've thought about it for a long time. But I think my theory, which I haven't researched this or anything, this is just something I woke up with. Let's go back to, what was it, the 70s? Whenever that coastal highway project was the big thing.
Okay.
And when they're building Yayasan Sabah building, the Menara Tun Mustafa, I assume it was roughly about the same time. It was a big, basically like a mega project, I think. Again, I could be wrong. I apologize if I'm wrong. But no doubt there's like a bit of, what's it called?
Hoo-ha.
Well, yes, but also reclamation.
Oh, reclamation. Yes.
Right?
A lot. Yes.
I mean, if you look at that, and then you look at the lagoon on one side, and then you look at the waves on the other side, it's like, what the hell is this doing here? Well, it's obviously man-made, kan?
Yes.
So where the hell did the sand come from that they dumped there? And how is it that the rubbish goes so deep? Is it naturally deposited over time since the construction, or is it memang originally from the sand that they brought in?
Wow.
But you know, that's just like
A theory lah.
well,
It kind of makes sense.
because I mean, I certainly think that might be a cheaper option if you take sand that has rubbish in it to make a beach. But I don't know, maybe I'm just reading too much into it. Maybe literally this is our lifestyle.
Is there anyone like investigating these kind of things?
Memang got, but
I mean, not a government
How
body
much?
lah,
Oh.
like someone else. Someone with passion.
well, when you say investigating, I think the question is to what extent. Beach cleanups will happen quite regularly, and of course there's the contractors that DBKK hires to actually do the proper official regular daily cleanup. But as far as investigation, I don't know.
I don't want to ask questions.
Well, yeah, I
This
mean,
relates to my job.
and also like I don't want
directly.
to I don't want to sound like I'm accusing, because you know, it just, if it's true, it's true. If it's not true, it's not true.
But I guess you have the right to accuse because you've solo
Wow.
cleaned up, and you have the rights to like, what is this shit?
Okay, what is this shit? Sure, but I mean, who you point the finger to? It's
Yeah.
like you might as well shoot yourself now
True.
with the people that you might upset, and then next thing you know, your life is hard because you said something bad about someone on a video on YouTube that millions of people watch. Yeah, but whatever lah.
Yeah.
I mean, not whatever, but it is what it is. You do what you need to do to move forwards. Yeah. How do we get on to that?
I don't know.
Talking about, traveling and what I would miss. Yeah, food.
You're a foodie.
No, but
Saya mau benci kau sudah like you look good. You're a foodie and you don't get fat. Like fuck.
well,
I mean, I am obviously a foodie.
okay. So I in my own way appreciate food. I may not appreciate the same foods as other people.
What's your favorite makan?
As in, like, you know, I like roti canai. That's it. I'm happy. Roti canai. I don't need to go out for fancy steak. I enjoy fancy steak, but I don't die if I don't get it. Because when I think of KK, Sabah, I don't think fancy steak. I think,
Roti canai.
oh yeah, I mean, that's one thing, obviously, among many. But the simple fact that you can just go anywhere and sit down for minum, yeah, that is it lah. But then obviously now there's more coffee culture coming, kan?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, good coffee, but then it's to each their own, kan?
True.
Yeah. I mean, I like this coffee.
Can we talk about pillars?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about pillars. How much more time do you have?
As much as.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we just do the time code lah, that people can just fast forward to this part where it gets juicy.
No, they have to watch. All the way. berapa banyak pillars? 1 and 2 kan?
Yes.
1 and 2.
So
okay.
far, supposedly.
How is 1?
How? Yeah, was good. Was
What was the feeling to start this, to execute it, and in the end have that final product? What was there like a how is 1 and 2 macam apa ni perasaan sini, apa ni perasaan sini?
Okay. So originally when Hongyi and I were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth.
Did you know Hongyi even before this?
Yeah,
Or?
high school classmates.
Okay.
Yeah. She memang always wanted to do macam ever since high school supposedly. It's not something that Hongyi told me, but this is something that a mutual friend told me. Whether it's true or not, whatever lah. But why not, right? It's that she always wanted to do something there, ever since high school, or shortly after. So memang is close to her heart.
She is very artistic.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was the time of the election, and was kind of like needing to balance political or non-political, and then eventually it came out with let's celebrate the community basically on Malaysia Day. So obviously the election was in May, and there was a lot of time between May and when we actually did it in September. So let's do something political, and then that kind of like, maybe not, maybe okay, let's do something for the community, and then it's like, especially with Merdeka Month,
Okay.
and King Merdeka Month, and September 16th. Okay, so let's do something and celebrate being Malaysian in our own way. Let me start again. It wasn't let's not celebrate being Malaysian. It was let's celebrate being Malaysian by celebrating being ourselves. And part of ourselves is being Malaysian. Memang we are Malaysian.
Whoa, what? How?
All right. Let me start again. Malaysia Day, 16th September. We're gonna express our Malaysian identity by celebrating ourselves and our community. Because who we are and who our community is we are also Malaysian, just a different kind of Malaysian.
Okay.
Like, I mean, it's not mutually exclusive. So I think that's one thing that maybe some people don't understand, is that you can celebrate being Sabahan, you can celebrate being whatever, as well as celebrate being Malaysian, because they do not cancel each other out. They are part, being Sabahan is part of being Malaysian, as well as part of being other things, right?
Okay.
I mean, politically speaking.
Paham sudah.
Yes. So that was, it was like semi-defined, but not obviously trying to justify. It's like, no, this is not controversial, right? If you read into it, whatever.
Were you going for that non-controversial approach?
You have to obviously try to be diplomatic, kan? Otherwise, especially if you have the support of particular government bodies, you wouldn't get. They wouldn't approve anything that was controversial.
True.
Not to say that it was meant to be controversial, but open to interpretation lah. Just like Rizzo's the in case of emergency, in case of war. Yeah.
Betul.
Yeah. Okay. So it was a success. It was good. It was. Some people will say that it was like the best thing that happened at that site, but I think that's a little bit arrogant because a lot has happened at that site. And Pillars is just one other thing. They achieved publicity, but the thing is, I think a lot of other previous projects also achieved publicity, kan? It was just maybe less curated, less organized. Yeah, less organized. But I think it achieved what I wanted to achieve in terms of at least some kind of community coming together, the art community as well as just the general public.
Both of you were happy about it?
The first one, yeah. The second one, there were some disagreements. Mainly in terms of direction. I mean, it was fine partnering with WWF.
WWF.
Yeah, because that for me was still kind of in line, but coming with like other corporate bodies trying to put their name on the project, because they were involved.
I guess it was gaining momentum and everyone is like,
yeah,
I'm in.
Exactly, which is fine, but like, what was your contribution? You paid for the video of yourself. That's not really contributing to the project, is it? Right? That's just like paying for a film crew to come and shoot and put your name on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But whatever lah. But the biggest issue or source of disagreement was the way the bench thing was handled.
That I feel it went out of proportion.
Yes.
Really fast.
But let's start at the beginning. How did it start?
I have no idea.
It was the Pillars of Sabah official Facebook page pointing fingers, nondescriptly, like not specifically, just like open to like, here's some ammo, guys. Show us your most racist comments against each other, and then that just went crazy. Which I think, number one, if you have that view, if you have frustrations, personal frustrations, do it on your own Facebook page. Why do you have to use the community project as a source to start a fight, basically? I mean, yeah, sure, some fights should happen, but I think that one shouldn't have happened like that. And like, this is a adult way to go about talking about an issue, right?
I guess.
Yeah, like, so someone stole the wood off the benches. Firstly, there was shit design. I mean, yeah, okay, so we take it for granted that this kind of thing just happens. Wouldn't it be nice to live in a world where you can put something out there and it doesn't get stolen? But this is not that world currently, okay? So you gotta deal with it. But, it just is. You don't, like, start finger pointing and, like, yeah. So that was the biggest...
I think I saw a few comments from that post. Some of them were just plain funny, yang kena curi bikin jamban ke apa.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's humor in it, but then when you have like people telling each other to balik, why don't you go back to China? Oh, you go back to whatever, wherever, Semenanjung. It's like, come on, guys, like, really?
Did they ask you to go back Australia?
Oh, I didn't look at the fucking comments
oh
at all.
Oh my god! It's like high school over again.
I mean, I screenshotted some comments that I thought I should hang on to, especially if it was Pillars of Sabah yang commenting. And I'm thinking, why the fuck would you say this? Why would Pillars of Sabah say this? So obviously I screenshot lah. Not to say to blackmail anyone, but it's just like, you know, so we can keep track of
Proper documentation lah.
what not to do in the future. Come on. Yeah.
I love those comments yang, I guess these are like, how you say these people who are like fighting in the beginning, and then these are like the friends yang support these two, and these are like I don't know what's happening, but I think I want to comment on this, and
Yeah.
you find comments like apa dong cerita sudah ni.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I was told that I was told that my silence on the matter was as good as being against Pillars of Sabah. And I thought, well, okay, good, because I kind of am on this matter. But also, why do I need to add to the noise? Like, I'm waiting for it to die down so that we can have a proper, meaningful conversation about it. And so certain people can be spanked if they need to be. Oh, yalla. But it's just that mentality of why you didn't comment, if why you didn't support us. Now everyone thinks you're against us. It's like, why? You know? But yalla, I mean, that was...
Wow. Okay.
So, I mean, it's open to interpretation why the next pillars hasn't gone ahead yet.
Are they plans?
Let's just say that because of that, I have, I encouraged, or at least I waited for the opportune moment, and I supported it when it was raised, that if it's going to be a community project, then maybe it's time to pass on the baton so that it's not one person or two people's.
Then it would look like a community.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's not a, I mean, I'm just going to say it, it's not a Jared project, it's not a Hongi project, it's not a Hongi and Jared project, it's not a orang elitist punya project, or at least it shouldn't be. It should be a project, I mean, fuck man, Pillars of Sabah doesn't own the site. At any time, anyone else can come in and do whatever they want. It just so happened that we got permission from who we assume to be the custodians of the site, whoever actually is. But I think baru sejak kena resolved that memang the government owns the site now because it was under dispute since the fire, which is why nothing ever happened. Something like that lah.
Something like that.
Yes, so if it's going to continue, then we should hand it over to Sabah Art Gallery to further it with our blessing. Because memang they were involved right from the start, and they know what we were trying to achieve, and they are basically the go-to body when it comes to art in Sabah, right? So that made sense. And of course, whoever it gets passed to, more than happy to, to do a proper handover, not just, yeah, it's yours now, it's your problem now. But as far as what and when, I think there's been some questioning, so maybe soon there will be something. Who will be at the helm? No idea. But of course, if I can assist, I will assist. But that's something that I'm trying to avoid lah. Like, it shouldn't be one person or one group's project, unless that group is Sabah Gallery, because that supposedly represents the people.
I think one funny story, I mean, even before the pillars, I mean, Krakow Art Group did something there a few times, and then we call it tiang tiang. Just for obvious reasons. And people were calling Krako's phone, si Craig.
Yep.
Krako, boleh kami promote kami punya t-shirt kah? And then do a mural there. Like, why are you calling me?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and people would like ask permission from Craig, and as if kami ada land title sana ni. Like, no, you can buat saja bah. Like, yeah, those were like weird times lah. Because I guess Craig had balls to like silently claim it. Okay, lukis, kasih bersih and everything. One of the reasons why they did that, because that place before that was a heaven for junkies. But the problem is the junkies were disturbing the homeless who lived in
Yep.
that di dalam tu lah.
Yep.
So after we cleaned up and did the conteng sana, lukis all this street art thing, that stopped, and we made friends with the homeless there.
Yeah.
One of them is Ali. I think you've seen one of the videos.
Yep.
He was not happy with the Pillars of Sabah. I mean, he said he's okay with it. It's pretty. It's nice, but he said something about some kind of a spirit that stopped. And
A spirit that
yeah,
stopped.
because you don't find amateur kids trying to learn graffiti and going there and trying out spray cans. They don't do that anymore.
Yep.
And you don't feel like it's for everyone.
Yep.
It's cantik, but in another sense it's limiting. You don't involve the community.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I want to be like neutral about this, but I don't know. I might agree and not agree with Pillars of Sabah. They're doing a good thing to one side, but maybe because of all these management issues or all these artist issues, they forgot the real community there.
Yeah.
Which is the homeless, si Ali,
Correct.
the uncle with his wife and their son yang tinggal di atas.
Yeah.
Why we erased the Malim Gunung mural on the 7th day? Because Ali couldn't sleep. He was like, okay, I get it. He said,
Yeah.
I understand that this is for those people and blah, 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 but bising we cannot sleep. I have to like look. And people are keep on coming, kacau dia punya tin, kacau dia punya papers, and we like, okay, this in the spirit of the community, this is not helping.
Yeah.
And yeah, we decided on the 7th day, ikut ritual of the memisok for the kadazan. We like, okay, we end this mourning period and we erase it.
Yeah.
A lot of people tidak berapa paham, and then we didn't really want to say that ada homeless tinggal sini, because kalau authorities would know, susah lah.
Yeah.
But now with this, memang sudah tiada sudah. They are like away. And
I think so just as you said, with every project there's gonna be pros and cons. There's gonna be different ways to look at it, benefits to different groups of people. The current Pillars of Sabah project is not benefiting the same groups as previous projects. Some might argue that it's better, some might argue that it's worse, and that's just it. Like, being open to having this conversation is what it comes down to. Here I am being frank about everything, just calling it out, telling it like it is. Not to say that I'm hating people, it's just there are faults that need to be addressed. It is what it is, you know. I'm not saying that the way I did was perfect. Obviously, I have to address faults, and I was part of some of those faults as well. So if Pillars of Sabah is going to be properly meaningful to as many people, to the community, then there are some things that it has to address. And I think gentrifying the site, the idea of making it all fancy, yes, we understand prime real estate, we understand it is a hole in the city, but then you can't just look at it from a money making point of view. There's a few layers that you have to look under. You can't just pretend they don't exist.
Yeah.
Like homeless, like
Migrants.
or just simply the other members of the art community that are not given the spotlight that Pillars of Sabah has given the spotlight to, but taking it away from the previous groups
True.
that were using the site.
Suggestion. Maybe the coming Pillars of Sabah, or whatever you might call it, can be inclusive of as much parties as possible. I was watching Academy Awards Oscars I forgot.
The last one.
I don't know which one. Terlalu banyak sudah. So there was this one song, and then everyone was singing, and choir is out there, like the staircase pun ada choir, and then you notice like the choir members are macam lain sikit. There was a guy on a wheelchair. There was an old lady. There was an old guy, and then they were like banyak colors, and then you notice like these institutions are including. So continuing.
So diversity.
Diversity,
not just in artists' styles, which is sure what the first one aimed to do, but also members of the broader community.
I guess this first and second is like, like the first and second batch of barbecue, first and second batch of pancakes, memang hangus, and like, who made this? Like, and then like the third one is like, kan?
Unless you're watching a movie, the third sequel will always be the suckiest. Or maybe it's the second that's always the suckiest. Anyway.
Val Kilmer Batman.
Oh my god.
Was that the one with the butt?
With the butt? What?
Yeah, there was like one with ass.
Okay.
Anyway.
Batman Forever, kan? That was Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah.
That
one is
Jim
okay.
Carrey, the Riddler.
Yeah, the other one, young Clooney.
George Clooney,
oh my god, that was like the one with the nipples,
disgusting.
right? That was bad.
Yeah.
But okay, Pillars of Sabah,
Yes.
third one, I am guessing it would be close to perfect.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, ideally, yes. Memang is.
Would you give it a shot to work with Hong Yi again?
Yes, I think.
Yay!
I mean, recently. I mean, holding grudges, whatever. Not to say that I necessarily held a grudge, but holding grudges in general, obviously, is not very healthy, right?
Sure.
For yourself and for whatever you're trying to achieve. Hong Yi she did participate in Mask.
Oh yeah.
So as part of the collective, the 8 artists with the Mask.
So you guys are good?
Well, I don't know about good, but obviously not bad. But like
You guys are professionals lah.
Well, hopefully. But what I'm trying to say is I'm open to working towards reconciliation, perhaps. Especially if we have the same goal.
Yalah, kaki kecil bang.
Yalah. So the next pillars, whatever it is, just has a few things that they need to, we or whoever needs to address, and not be so. I mean, if you noticed, the first one, it was more vibrant, more colors, all different styles, different colors, less curating. This is why I didn't like that word. And the second one,
Oh yeah.
macam all the same color scheme, and then later I found out that kena suruh change color. So I thought that kind of went against what the point of Pillars was, because Pillars is giving a voice. Why would we want to censor that voice, or why we want to?
Were these colors tweaked in a way to present something, or was this just a palette from this curatorial team?
I think to match the back wall. So the back wall was like basically Singapore's night safari. And if you look at that fucking hornbill, it's not a hornbill. I should show you the original. It was a toucan.
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck is a toucan doing on Pillars of Sabah? But anyway, hopefully she's not watching. Yes, sip with Egan. Do not watch this episode.
I mean, okay, if she is watching, if you are watching, hello.
Hello.
And I guess we're all adults here, and we have our differences, and the pillars would mean we go there, pour out our differences, disagree, and still come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I have a strong feeling when that happens, when you disagree, when you fight, and when you get all dramatic and emotional, the outcome is better than when you all like, yeah, bagus betul, agree, tapi di dalam macam
Yeah, hopefully lah, but first you have to come to the table. So hopefully, I mean, that's the next step lah. Well, coming back to the table. So that is not
she
just. Yeah, she's here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I interview you?
Give it some time lah.
Yeah.
So
okay, better.
no, as in like. So because of course she's gonna like watch back to like prep herself, and then don't encourage her to watch this episode.
Oh, we hope this episode first. Interview here.
Damn.
Boom.
Well, yeah lah. I mean, you talk about things that maybe you want to talk about drama and fighting.
No.
Oh, okay.
I guess as interesting as it is,
I was gonna talk about dogs on walls.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was quite something then.
I don't know. What's your take? As a more qualified person than me.
Okay, this is what I see. This guy, Kenji kan? Kenji Chaigo.
Yeah.
I mean, I look up to him.
Yeah.
He's a professional. He's a go-getter. He is making his mark.
Literally.
He's going places.
Yeah.
Berjaya in a sense. What he did was shocking, I guess, to an extent. Bikin terkejut lah yang wow, what? Tiba-tiba ni. And what I saw is him expressing himself. I saw myself questioning, why am I hating / loving these things? And because my graffiti artist nature in me is like, wow, siok ada semua ni.
Yeah.
And then the sabahan, humble, takut, ini cari pasal sebenarnya ni.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a mix of feeling that KK art scene or graffiti scene or street art scene is moving somewhere. We don't know where, but it's moving.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed when someone pergi spray overlap and did like macam tai gitu.
Yeah.
And then got question mark. And at first I thought there was going to be graffiti war. Like, yes! Okay!
Yeah.
It's gonna be on! Like Mr. Robo ka, sama Banksy. And I was hoping for some dramatic punya input after that.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I guess a very concerned fellow artist pergi tampal plaster, tampal very positive, how you say?
With hearts, and it was
I-
Band-Aid. And
Yeah, I want to say quick fix.
Yep.
Yeah. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, nothing active, nothing aggressive on this. Habis, okay, dia taruh anjing, terus dia taruh art, and then ada shit, dia bilang kan. Terus, if you need to retaliate, you need to rise up to the occasion and present something. At least satu lah.
Yeah.
And make it like a production mah. And how you say dia jual pantun, kau jawab pantun, dia balik jawab.
Yeah.
But this one yang, oh, kau jual pantun, I erase your pantun and kita kawan lah. Like, no, that's not how it's done. I mean, deep down inside, I feel like I want to go and masuk campur, but it's not my fight. It's not my. I'm the audience here now, and I don't feel like I have the rights to like. I don't want to be with Kenji or with this Thai art question mark guy. I just want to see what is happening. I'm in a gallery right now. I want to see a performance. I want to see theatrics, and I don't know. I feel Kenji was also waiting for that. Macam mana that other guy is.
Do you think it was Kenji still waiting, or he's like, he's done his dog, and basically it's just his minions doing the cover up with the band-aids and whatever.
Sayang ba dia ada minion? Itulah batu.
Yeah, well,
kalau boom, bam, boom, bam, that was nice, man.
So, I'm not a graffiti artist. I'm not a street artist. So I wanna get your input. When it comes to sending a message, or when it comes to putting graffiti on a wall, which obviously can be considered vandalizing. Well, I mean, it's basically not your property. You are discoloring someone else's property, right?
Sure.
Okay. So, what makes it worth it? What makes it art? What makes it pointful, purposeful? And if it's the same thing all over town, does it become monotonous and pointless, or was there a purpose? And was it purposeful enough? Sampai the business owners were getting upset, like, what the fuck? Yeah.
I don't know. For this, I guess Kenji needs to answer it for himself. But my vision of what I think about this is, Kenji was making noise so loud that he got into Miami Basel, and he did the dog there. He was, to me, he was showing USA, Europe, or wherever that is as far as social media can go, that he exists. And it might be a bit much, flyover, SASB substation.
Yeah, I mean, there's some places where you're like, yeah lah, vandalize that shit, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But it's like on the side of a home, small business wall.
Which one, huh?
Well, I don't know about small business, but the one that I know that complained, well, not complained, but was like, you know, what's going on?
Orang tidak puas hati lah.
Jesselton Hotel? What they call Jesselton Hotel? The one yang
there.
in Gaya Street.
Oh, they were complaining about that.
Yeah. You know, in front of it,
Yeah, there's that box thing.
yeah, there are like small businesses memang in that small.
I think so.
Yeah, so they also like, come on, man.
Yeah, I think graffiti comes with the package lah. People will hate, love it,
Yeah.
and this is. I mean, when we were doing graffiti, we were doing it near. What was that place? Port View, the old Port View
yeah.
restaurant. Behind it.
So
There's this-
basically, the place that has gone crazy now. Well,
Yeah,
most
like
recently,
gudang or something
Yeah.
now. Like that abandoned pokok tumbuh in concrete thing. We were like doing our thing lah. And a couple came out from the restaurant and saw this. And they said to Craig and Faye, our Creco members lah, like, imagine if this thing was on the walls of your house, dia bilang. And we saw, tengok dia orang kan, kami punya dinding penuh sudah di rumah. That's why we come here. And they were like, pfft. They were not happy lah.
Yeah.
They were like really not happy with what we said, like kurang ajar punya budak. But I guess, I don't know, in a sense you need to be kurang ajar sometimes to make noise.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Depends
I mean,
what your cause is lah.
true.
I mean, if you're doing it in an abandoned site, that's different from doing it on the side of an actual functioning business where they then need to buy paint to paint over it.
Yeah. Kasihan juga lah kan.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about community. So let's say Pillars of Sabah, you want to address the community, meaning have most benefit to the community. So you have to think about all these different issues. One of those things is like, imagine if Pillars of Sabah suddenly is going around spray painting on people's business side of walls. For sure, there's gonna be like issues, right? So, where am I going with this? I'm going with
Community.
Yes.
And involving everyone.
Yeah. So that's not what Pillars of Sabah was about. So it's memang contained. Even still contained, had its own issues, fine. But then going around and you want to send a message. Okay, cool. But what's your message? Your message is you're taking a dump in KK, all over KK. What does that say to KK? Do it in Sanakan lah. Oh, already. I guess it's just the same question lah. Why don't you do it on your own walls? Wait, your own walls are full. Sanakan is already full. Come do it in KK lah. Okay, fine.
KL pun full sudah Kenji. One more thing about graffiti is like it's like hip hop culture.
Yeah.
And to them, probably the country don't give a shit about them. The government don't give a shit about them. Establishment don't give a shit about them. Blah blah blah. And why should I? Begitu ba konon. So that's why they. That's another. I mean, I'm not so sure about Kenji. Apa dia fikir? If Kenji you're watching this, comment di bawah supaya dia drama sikit. But there was this guy from Melbourne. He did some kind of an iguana thing. I forgot his name. If you guys know this guy's name, kasih komen di bawah and yeah, we get things rolling.
Iguana where?
Some kind of a chameleon thing.
So memang here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he went up to this Milo billboard in front of my office.
Yeah, see, spray painting on a freaking multinational corporation.
Yeah.
It's like that's different.
So dia spray lah. Dia buat dia punya iguana. Looking at him while he was doing that was the director for the enforcement department di PKK. I know this story.
Yeah.
And they were like, wait for it. Wait for it. Dia turun tangkap.
Yeah.
And these people, their punya mentality is, I'm just doing what the billboard was doing in the first place, advertising the thing. The only thing is I didn't pay for license lah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, to my humor, because Milo is like famous for Milo dinosaur kan. And when you saw Milo so macam iguana, so kadang that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you do it on Milo, whatever, and let's say it's not like a hate campaign towards the brand. It makes it serves to promote it even more because people are photographing this Milo billboard. So that, while it is considered vandalism, technically would have been good for Milo as well. That there's no issue. Oh, habis battery.
Oh man. Okay. Wait. So okay.
Obviously, I want to give a disclaimer.
Okay.
My disclaimer is that for some people, they might be wondering, like, who the fuck is this person and talking about art. Yes, I have organized some things, but I don't consider myself any authority on anything to do with art. My expertise, what I'm good at, is just like, yeah, I've got some ideas. I can help to make it happen lah. Like do whatever needs to be done for something to happen. Creative side, it may or may not be me, but in no way do I want to be like, oh yeah, I'm an art critic and therefore that is vandalism. It's not art. That is good. That is bad. No. It's just whatever lah. Art is subjective.
Yeah.
But then the things I wanted to ask was like, at what point does it become acceptable to
The majority?
to do graffiti dumps all over town? That was like to clarify my questioning back then. Because, it might be acceptable and I just had to deal with it, right? That I'm the only one who has an issue with it. But I don't think I'm the only one. Ngam ka?
Ngam na to. I feel like it's both. It's cool, it's acceptable, and not. And
Edgy.
it's okay. If you hate it, it's okay. If you love it, it's okay.
Yes.
I think it would make him happier if people are pissed at it, because that's the nature of graffiti artists. They want to provoke people in thinking something that is, how you say, they just want to poke you lah. I somehow feel that way. I'm not so sure about what specifically Kenji is thinking about, but most graffiti artists likes to poke to the man.
Yeah, well, to the man, yes. Poke the man. I'm all for that.
Parents.
Poking, the man, whoever the authority is. But then, if you're poking the person next to you, and the person next to you is on the same level as you,
I guess that's the question you need to ask yourself lah. Like, why am I doing this? What is this going to hurt my brother, my brethren, my
Exactly. I guess any project, whatever. I mean, we can continue until morning.
You have joined capitalism, my friend. So that is my reason for menconteng dinding kau.
See, that would be fine if that was the message. Is that the message, though?
I don't know.
Yeah. See, I will support if that is the message, because I'm behind that. But then it's like, the only thing it achieved is people hating dogs. And I don't think that is good. People should love dogs.
Really?
Well, yeah.
In Malaysia, I know there's like this big no-no that you need to stay away. If you're a graffiti artist, stay away from religious buildings. Something like that lah. But if you go to European countries where religion is related to all these not so good issues, like so it's like graffiti go straight to churches and mosque and just bomb and I didn't mean like bomb, but we call it the act of doing graffiti is bombing, not terrorism. Sorry.
Yeah, and we've just had the Beirut.
That is really bad.
That was crazy.
And that wasn't a bomb, right?
Depends who you ask. Donald Trump says it's a bomb.
Aiyo,
But of course, I mean, most what people are saying is that just some shit ignited.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we can give reasoning. We can cover up. We can. End of the day, it's people getting hurt.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm sorry for
It's okay.
sending you off track.
Tidak.
As you were, go back. Bombing buildings.
Yeah,
in an art way.
It's different cultures in different, can I say, community. So yeah, European where Christianity is like looked down upon, begitu kah? Where the history of Christianity is like really bad, kena paksa convert lah apa semua, and they don't agree with this religion, and that's why you start hearing they call it black metal. Diorang bilang ini setan, but this is actually political. They were going against the so-called management of the church because they were like oppressed banyak lah. So that's why they come up with this, and so graffiti came and did the same thing to religious buildings, but not in Malaysia. If you do that in Malaysia, memang kena lah, and yeah.
Yeah, obviously it was just interesting, that whole episode. Obviously the flyover ones are all covered up. I mean, you can tell it's like not the same shade of grey, but whatever lah.
Habis sudah yang ni.
Yeah, but memang still got. I've learned to live with it. Yeah. Obviously, the building is very cantik. The one yang actually was commissioned, Tujo,
Tujo, yeah,
Tuj
Tujo.
and you.
Yeah, that was yeah, that was nice. Okay, dah pernah habis ni, okay?
Yeah.
Comments below. I know this is very provocative, entah apa macam sebut. And if you guys are triggered, if you guys have inspirations, if you guys have apa-apa lah, yeah, comments below. Get the conversation going, and yeah, this has been really something. I might edit out the rambling yang pasal tidak nanti, but the points that is very important, I'll leave that inside lah. This is Sip with Egan, ending now. What's that?